I'm going to start this instruction by putting two different words up here. And I don't want you to say them out loud. So first we have T-I-G-E-R. And then we have this name, T-I-G-G-E-R. So I have this one versus this one. I want to do the second one first.
Today we're going to talk with Miss Durban about teaching syllable types, all 6 syllable types. She's been teaching for a couple weeks with her students, and we want to share some insights from her experience as we bring this to Bradford County in the middle and the high school. Hi, Miss Durban, how are you doing?
Hi, Mr. Pepper, I'm good.
Good. So, Miss Durban, when you are teaching your students the syllable types, do you have any specific procedures or structure in place to help them be successful with it?
So when I introduce new syllable types, I first give them as bell work words that I believe that they should know, simple words. I have them mark the vowels with V's and mark the consonants with C's.
So they're writing out these words.
So they write the words out on their own paper. Once they do that, I ask them, are their vowels together or separate? When they recognize that they're separate, because we haven't started vowel teams yet, when they recognize that they're separate, then they know how many syllables there will be. How many syllables will there be based on how many vowels you have? And so then I have them draw the line to show where the difference between the first syllable and the second syllable, the third syllable might be. After they have broken their word into syllables, then I have them look at the pattern. So looking at the first syllable, does it end with a consonant or does it end with a vowel, and so forth. So they figure out the syllable type based on the V's and the C's and the breaking of the word that they've already done.
Well, and even figuring out where to break it if they notice the rabbit pattern.
Yes.
Right.
Well, so my students, based on the videos that they'll watch from those the Bitly Decoding Words videos, as silly as they are, they're very helpful because they do show those patterns. They show the VCCV or the VCV, and I point those out to the students and I make sure that they notice, yes, it's silly, but look at what they're saying, look at the pattern of these words. So that's helpful. Once they get into the word, I say, what sounds are you hearing? Because it's words that they know. So if I give them the word bite, are you hearing the I sound or are you not hearing it? So I tell them if it's saying its name, if you can hear the long sound, you put a line over it, and then if you hear the short sound, then you put a U over it.
And you had this amazing kind of cheat meme that the kids could latch on to remember the difference between closed and open.
So the way I tell them to remember closed and open is that the vowels want to say their name. The vowels so A wants to say A. He wants to give his long sound.
Okay.
And so if you leave the door open, the A can say his name. So at the end of the syllable, if there is a vowel there, he can say his name all he wants to. However,
shout it out to the world.
Shout it out, I am A. But if there's a consonant there, the consonant, and I say that C's and C's, consonants close the door. So when the consonant closes the door at the end of the syllable, the A, instead of saying A, can only say ah, so he can only get out the short sound before the consonant goes down.
And I don't want you to say them out loud. So first we have T-I-G-E-R. And then we have this name, T-I-G-G-E-R. So I have this one versus this one. I want to do the second one first. Let me get my sticks. Because you guys are going to be very familiar with this pattern. This is the one we've been working on. Mariah, what are the vowels here?
I,
Are they together or are they separate?
separate.
So how many syllables would we need? 2. So we have 2 vowels. They are separate. So they're going to have 2 syllables. Good. Now the rest of them, these you can mark as consonants. Anything that's not a vowel is a consonant. Remember that. Now tell me, Mariah, I'll stick with you. Where did you, if you were going to break this word, where would you break this word?
Between the G's.
Between the G's. And she knows that because she sees this pattern. When you see the V, C, C, V, typically the way that we've always done it, the way that we've done it so far this year is when you see the V, C, C, V pattern, we typically split it right down the center. So if this is a vowel followed by a consonant, she's not here. Garrett, here we have a vowel followed by a consonant in this first syllable. Since it's followed by a consonant, is it open or closed?
Close.
Is it going to be long or short?
Short.
How about this last one? We have a vowel followed by a consonant. Is it open or closed?
Close.
And is this long or short?
Short.
Remember, and I'm saying this to you guys to remember, but I'm also saying it because we've got a couple of new students in here that haven't heard this before. When you have within a syllable a vowel followed by a consonant, it is closed. When it is closed, it is shutting the door and it's not allowing the vowel to say its name. It has to say its short sound. So this is pronounced what? How do we pronounce this word? Come on. This one. Tigger. Notice I capitalized it. This is the guy named Tigger. This is short. This is closed. So it's, now everybody say it. Tigger. This is Tigger. T-I-G-G-E-R is Tigger.
Tiger's a tiger.
Yes.
There's one sticker from
It is from Winnie the Pooh. You're exactly
Right
right.
there's just, with one G.
Now, all right, hey, now you do this one for me. So we did Tigger. Now look at this one. Don't say the word, but let's go through the process. Go ahead.
So the I is long,
Uh-huh.
and the E.
Good. And C, C, C. How many syllables is it gonna have? Two, right, because these are two vowels and they are separate, not together. I'm sorry, I forgot to add that. Where would you break this?
Between the I and the G.
Between the I and the G. Everybody look at your paper and make sure, did you separate it between the I and the G? It makes the most sense to separate it between the I and the G. Christine, no, this is Christopher, not Christine. Christopher. So this one, we have a vowel and there's no consonant coming after it. What would you guess that type of syllable would be called? Here we have one that have a vowel followed by a consonant. You know what that is. You have a vowel followed by a consonant, it's what?
Close.
Closed. But here, the consonant isn't there. There's nothing there shutting the door. So if there's
It'll be
nothing there
open.
closing the door, then it is what?
Open.
Then it is open. Very good. All right, did everybody just catch that? That is new information. This vowel does not have a consonant following it. That means it is open. There is no consonant there closing the door. It is allowed to say its name as much as it wants to. So because it's open, Christopher, is this I going to be short or long?
Long.
And then here we said it's closed, so the E is going to be short or long?
E short.
Short. So guys, what's this word? All of you. Tiger versus Tigger. So we have tiger that begins with an open syllable versus Tigger. We have the closed syllable because we have the extra G there. Yes? When you have an open syllable, that vowel is going to be long. This one we have a vowel and it's followed by a consonant.
closed and short.
It's closed and then it would be short. So this word is what, guys?
Basic.
Basic. You hear the A saying its name. Basic.
Can I do the next word? Can I do hop reon?
Well, I want everybody to get a chance. I appreciate you wanting to do that. Haley, what about you? How come you? What are your vowels? Are they together, separate?
Separate.
So how many syllables are you gonna have? Where would you break it? Well, you see this, don't you?
Between the R.
So you say the P and the R?
Yeah.
Okay, let's break it between the P and the R. Let's break it between the P and the R and see what that does to the word. So, do you have a question?
I was gonna bring on.
No. Let me get everybody, because I want to make sure everybody gets it. Raylan, you ready? If this, so let's pronounce this the way it's broken now, because a lot of you broke it this way. So we have a vowel followed by a consonant. Would this be open or closed? With the consonant at the end. You know what you remember? Here's how I can remember it. Consonant is closed. They both start with C. Consonants are closed. If it ends with a consonant, it is closed. So this one ends with a consonant, so it's closed. And when it's closed, is this long or short?
Short.
Yeah. And this one, vowel followed by a consonant, is what? And long or short? So how would we pronounce this word, guys? Somebody tell me, how would we pronounce this word? Christopher, how would you pronounce this word this way? Apron. Apron. Is apron a thing?
No.
Not that I've ever heard of. I don't think anybody in here has ever heard of an apron. Let's try to break it a different way. Who broke it a different way? Scott, how did you break it?
I broke it between the A and the B.
So she, instead of breaking it between the P and the R, she broke it between the A and the P.
Oh, yeah.
If you were paying attention to that song, and this is something that I caught, this is like third time I've watched the song today, but if you're paying attention to the song, it said break it after the first vowel. So in words like this, when you see this VC thing, then try breaking it after that very first vowel. That's what they said in the video, in the word broken. So here we have our vowel, and we've broken it. So since we've only got one vowel there, who's not heard? Let me see, Justin, you tell me. You're not Justin, you're Justin. Sorry, you're Diego, you're Justin. Sorry, Justin, I'm gonna call him you. Since it's a vowel by itself and there's no consonant, what is it? It would be open. So would this be short or long?
Long.
And then this one, vowel followed by consonant, would be open or closed?
Close.
And would it be short or long?
Short.
So now how do we pronounce this? Pronounce this word.
Apron.
Apron. Apron. Have you guys heard of an apron before? You've heard of an apron? I mean, it's an apron, that's the word, an apron.
So do you have any tips or tricks, recommendations that you've kind of come up with as you've gone through this journey just the past 3 weeks? Because this is new for all of us.
Absolutely. Well, I noticed that when it was being taught to us, that the teacher repeated the questions. She knew that we knew the questions. She knew that we knew how many vowels.
We had them in front of us.
We had them in front of us. And still she would ask the questions. How many vowels? Are they together or are they separate? How many syllables? So I make sure to, every single time, ask the questions. So that way, those questions get stuck in their mind, and whenever we turn them loose and they're reading something on their own and they come across a word, they'll have those questions in their head, accessible to them forever. So how many vowels do I see? Are they together? They're separate. How many syllables will there be? And then they will be able to identify the syllables based on whether the consonants or the vowels are at the end of it.
And we see some more complex words than I saw earlier in the week and last week. So now that the kids are getting more automatic with those questions, that's why you've ramped it up some?
I liked it. There are children that they already know the words, and they are questioning what if I know these words, and they're saying the word apart. Oh, I hear that this is a short sound, so I know that it's going to be short. But I want them to learn the pattern so that they can use it on difficult words. So I'm going to present them with difficult words. Especially with my advanced classes,
Sure.
Especially with the kids who are already strong in reading. So I give them a word like omnipotent, and they have to struggle with that one. That you can get a productive struggle with that.
We're just going to bring that word out. Yeah.
You get the productive struggle whenever you give them the bigger words, and you show them this is valuable to all of us, myself included. So one thing that I would suggest, one thing that I've noticed is that with our children being so deficient in reading capability, we can't assume that they know anything. So you can't assume that they know when you say, oh, it's a short A sound. You can't assume that they know that the short A says ah. You need to constantly be reminding them. Remind yourself to remind them the short sound. This is the short sound of the I. This is the long sound of the I.
So we
Constantly
can't
that.
skip any of the
Don't
fundamentals.
skip any of the fundamentals. That's what this is all about. We've got to go back and build this foundation. It's fun to watch the kids. I mean, it's valuable to watch kids just play with words and play with sounds. I've had some great successes on it. I've talked to other teachers too that have had successes of students getting into debates over where the consonant should be placed based on how they think that the word should sound. I mean, like really literally arguing with one another about where should this end go? I think it should go here.
We're creating nerds.
You're creating nerds.
In our image.
Absolutely. Absolutely.